This time on The Greats, Israel's Golda Meir, mime artist Marcel Marceau, the delightful Julie Andrews, and the king himself, Elvis Presley. But first, Arthur Miller, Part 2. Arthur Miller wrote the character of Roslyn in the Misfits especially for his wife, Marilyn Monroe. Despite being admitted to hospital during filming, Monroe gave the performance of her career. It was the serious role she'd craved, but the film also marked the end of their marriage. The couple divorced in 1961, and less than a year later, she was dead. Although lauded as a literary treasure, Miller's later plays never attained the heights of success reached by his early masterpieces. In 1996, he received an Oscar nomination for his screenplay of The Crucible.
Well, I always felt it was a great movie in that play, and just rather objectively, I think. But it was very hard to get other people to see it, that it was. And that's why it's taken all these years to get it made.
In 1962, Miller married Magnum photographer Inge Morath, and the couple remained together until her death in 2002. The first play he wrote following his breakup from Marilyn was After the Fall, about a man's struggle to come to terms with his actress wife's spiral into self-destruction. However, its release soon after Marilyn's death saw it spurned by the press and public, who criticized it for cashing in on her fame. Miller was wounded by the reaction, but continued to produce a range of work that explored the human condition, including the acclaimed family drama, The Price. He remained politically active, opposing the Vietnam War and becoming president of PEN, the International Writers' Organization. In the 1970s, Miller tried his hand at comedy, experimented with one-act plays, and even wrote a musical. He also traveled widely with his photographer wife, documenting many of their experiences in essays and books. In 1983, Miller directed a production of Death of a Salesman in communist China, finding the play resonated as strongly in post-Mao China as it had in post-World War II America. And he had a wry comment to make about his Chinese experience, colored by the mixed reaction many of his plays had received from reviewers.
When I directed Death of a Salesman in China, I discovered with some mild shock that they had no critics and that they had never had any. Imagine a country of 1,200,000,000 people and not a single critic.
The critics acclaimed the 1985 television version of Salesman starring Dustin Hoffman as Willie, and Miller began to receive more positive reviews for his plays. His works of the 1990s, such as The Last Yankee and The Ride Down Mount Morgan, played to packed houses around the world. Miller's many honors include a Pulitzer Prize for Death of a Salesman, Spain's prestigious Príncipe de Asturias Prize for Literature, and 7 Tony Awards. The undisputed master of modern drama, Miller considered his work to be first and foremost about values and the conflict between those who believe money equals fulfillment and those who have other priorities. Visiting the Old Vic to workshop The Last Yankee with British actors, Miller paid tribute to director David Thacker, praising him for his ability to evoke emotion from the actors while keeping the theme apparent. Thacker was equally complimentary.
He is nourished by endorsement for his work. He is, in that sense, is a very humble man. When he came to see The Last Yankee the other day, it gave him enormous pleasure to be sitting in this audience and experiencing the sheer delight that the audience were taking in his play. He loves it when they laugh at the lines that he wants them to laugh at, when they cry when he wants them to cry, and he's moved by it, deeply moved by it.
When Miller died in 2005, the lights were dimmed on Broadway in his honor. He left behind a body of work that places him at the forefront of American literary life, and he never stopped writing.
Well, I'm lucky I can go on doing it. But there have been older playwrights than me, but I don't want to mention their names. I hope to keep writing as long as I can manage it.
3, 2, 1.